SRV separation confirmed. Coming up on staging, the burnout of these twin solid rocket boosters at 2 minutes 5 seconds.
I can tell about my life, I got scars for the proof. Know my bars are the truth, 9 stars in the roof. Plus I'm rolling with another star. If you ever saw the service in a double R, I could've bought another car. Reasoning with Lizzie, yeah, I talk to my money. I'll be running to the bands, they just walk to the money. You can't talk to me funny. Never. She gave me brains in the roller, that's what I call thoughts in the Culli. Okay.
You sold a business you were involved in for £1 billion. I'm stuck in the millions.
Touching 4 billion and being involved in that conversation, like that's an important milestone.
You met your wife now, who housed you at a time where you were homeless.
Yeah.
What was you buying that you was trying to keep up with appearances that was £89,000 worth of debt?
Like you say, you have people who, and I was one of them when my football career ended, who cannot afford to sustain that lifestyle, but they feel under pressure.
Why can't I wear this again? It's not like I'm posting it on my grid. Why can't I wear this again?
Who does that make sense to? Like, bring me the person that makes sense to.
I like it when people do it after me, like the gala. But obviously, we want to say a massive congratulations winning the Power List this year. It's only the top 10 that get named, so it's like everyone else number 11. So I'm running with number 11 right now. Is that your favourite Kano project?
Yeah, probably.
Is it? I'll never know anyone to say that. Yes, Mr. Forbes.
What's happening?
God damn.
P?
Whole lot of money in the building. What are you saying, my guy? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. What's happening?
Yeah, no, not too bad.
You look well.
I'm trying, man. Apologies on the delay. You know how it gets. How you been?
I'm good. I got no complaints, Posty, man. Life's good, Life's treating me well. I'm healthy.
Yeah,
what else is there?
We've been seeing, obviously, you came across a lot of our radars, obviously, when you had that successful venture when you sold a business you were involved in for £1 billion. Am I correct?
€1 billion.
€1 billion.
It's almost the same nowadays.
Yeah, congratulations on that. But before we get into those massive headlines and incredible accomplishments, I want to talk about your background. Obviously, you come from a council estate as well as a lot of us. Where exactly did you grow up?
So I grew up in Lewisham.
Okay.
My estate was in Lewisham, so southeast, and that's kind of where we lived, Sydenham, Lewisham. But then my cousins grew up in Peckham. So in the summers, as was often the way back in those days, like in the summer holidays, you go to your cousins for 6 weeks. Yeah. Next summer holiday, they come to you for 6 weeks. So I lived in Lewisham, but I spent a lot of my school holidays in and around Peckham.
Okay. And while you were growing up, you were an aspiring footballer. I'm not sure exactly what level you got to. Did you ever actually become a pro, or did you actually quit just before you became a pro?
No, I didn't quit. That's the last job I got properly fired from because I didn't make the grade. Like when it came time to get proper serious, like coming out of school, I played and I was like doing the apprenticeship kind of thing. But when it came time to get proper serious and become a full-time pro, that's when I came out of the game. But I played non-league. I did play for my country though. My parents are Guyanese. Yeah. And I played for Guyana a couple of times.
Okay, sick. So what made you come out of football? Was it like an injury? It's not like an injury story, is it? Or
nah, looking back on it now, yeah, I never really applied myself properly to become a pro. My friends who went on and had brilliant careers, they were training in the summer, they were doing extra sessions in the evening, they were eating right. I was so happy to be a footballer that what mattered to me was wearing the tracksuit out like in the evenings. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like wearing the tracksuit socially, so everybody knew I was a footballer. I was spending more time and more energy on looking like a footballer than actually trying to be a footballer. So I got released in the end. Okay, and obviously now, as you mentioned, some of your friends at the time or peers became massive footballers. Can you name any or identify any that were your actual friends at the time? So me and Rio are still tight. That's probably one of my closest friends now. And obviously he had the career of all careers, right? Played for Man United, played for England, captain both of those teams. So we were same age, grew up around the same time, around the same area, played in the same district team, were friends then. Then he went and had his career. Now his career's kind of finished. We're still tight now. Then other people like Clinton Morrison, a little bit younger than me, played for Crystal Palace and Ireland. So there was like a handful. Jason Ure as well, played for kind of Wimbledon and Charlton. So a good few of those people, you know, are my friends, but probably me and Rio would be the tightest.
So you was in great company.
Yeah, man, and
time.
it was unbelievable seeing his journey. Like that was inspirational. I still say it to him now. We spend a lot of time together now. I say to him all the time that he's a person who, like, we knew about luxurious things and like serious money because of Rio, because we were going to Rio's house when he was 20 and he had like a sauna in his house. We'd never seen those things in houses before. Or he had, you know, the latest Range Rover. We weren't getting him brand new cars. Or even like coming to West End. When you came to West End with Rio, you just walked straight into everywhere. So for us at 18, we thought you just go to Mayfair and just walk straight in. So we never knew any different, and it's really because of like him and how successful he was early that showed a lot of us that.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. And then obviously, I heard you fell into some hard times. Obviously, once your football career was over, you became homeless for a little bit, trying to work out what you were doing next. And as well as trying to keep up with your peers, you ended up being in over £80,000 worth of debt, right?
Yeah.
What was you buying that you was trying to keep up with appearances that was £89,000 worth of debt?
That was exactly it. Like Rio and Jason and them boys had like real money. They were earning like actual money, and I was having to use like borrowed money, you know, to kind of fund and support that lifestyle. So I was buying all the clothes, putting my money towards the table and the minimum spend and all of that kind of stuff. And then before you knew it, it was like 80 plus grand of debt.
Yeah, so but what was you buying at the time then? What was you buying? It couldn't have all just been bottles and stuff.
I bought a convertible yellow Renault Megane.
Okay.
at the time.
Oh yeah, those are kind of heavy them times.
That was
yeah.
Jason Ewell had a convertible yellow Escort, but he was playing in the first team at Charlton.
Okay.
So I was trying to compete with him, so I bought a convertible yellow Renault Megane. I bought a Rolex.
Yeah.
And then I was spending money on holidays, cars and clothes.
Wow.
Yeah, and then before you know it, it's a slippery slope.
Yeah, credit card debt. I know a few people that have been involved in that, but obviously you found...
I was taking out every loan possible, every credit card possible, checkbook and card those days as well, so you could write the check whether you had the money or not. Yeah, it was...
Yeah, you was advanced, because I don't think like a lot of people back in them days, especially black people, knew a lot about getting credit cards and maxing out credit. That was more of a privileged information situation, I feel like. Remember, there was the internet wasn't hitting like that, information wasn't around like that. I don't know, I could be wrong.
It was the football thing, because those people would come to the training ground and go, you know, you're on this money now, but when you get your next due, you're going to be on this money, and I've got a relationship with this bank, so I can get you this card or this line of credit. And you're, 17, saying to yourself, yeah, I'm going to make it, so I'll just take everything. Like, what 17-year-old boy coming from where we come from is going to go, you know what, that might not be the right choice right now. I've got to think about my long-term future. I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about designer clothes and watches and cars.
No, that's crazy. Obviously, while you was homeless at the time trying to work out your next move, I just want to highlight, what do you think you met your wife now, who kind of housed you at a time where you were homeless? How important, you know, we always hear those tales about behind every successful man is a strong woman and all those kind of things. How important do you feel like that statement is based on your experience?
Massively. I met Danielle in 98, so it's like 27 years ago now. And the most important thing for me in meeting her is I met her at my lowest point. So when we met, I had no home, no job, no money. All I had was like debt and vibes, like good like jokes and a personality. So we got together then and we became close at that point. And she's been like the #1 supporter for the last however many years. Every choice we've made, every decision we've made, every win we've had, every L we've taken, family, business, she's been there like every single step of the way. And it hasn't always been straightforward and easy, like any relationship over that period. It's had its difficult moments, but she's just been consistently there. So when somebody takes you on at your worst, you know, when things get better, when things are good, you can't ever forget that.
But how have you been able to like balance that? Obviously, we know what life's like. We know what ego's like, especially as men. Like, obviously, you're not the same Dean that she probably met in those moments in your relationship when you have been feeling yourself more. Because anyone would. Like, how have you always managed to kind of rejiggle the way you're thinking and come back grounded?
I don't know, man. Like, the hardest part of a relationship, especially over that duration of time, is people. Everyone changes, but then people change at different speeds, and I think that's been the number one difficulty that we've had to deal with in our relationship. That I'm in the corporate world, building my business career. Things are moving at a certain pace for me, whereas she's been brilliant looking after our kids and raising our kids and looking after our home. So things are changing for her, but at a different pace. So you're coming out of talking about this deal for however many millions of pounds. She's talking about, your kid drew on the wall today at home, right? And you're just in completely different spaces. So that different pace of growth is a hard thing to deal with in a relationship. But what has helped us is I always come back to like my core character, and the people around me do not let me stray away from my core character. That's why I think it's important, the people that you have around me, because at those moments where, I start to get a little bit maybe carried away with myself, ego starts to kick in, there's money flying about, you're in different rooms or different conversations, I've got enough people around me who I love and respect that will just say, we don't do that. Like, that's not what we do. That's not who we are. They check me, and that's happened a few times over the last few years.
Yeah, no, for sure. I can imagine anyone in your position would have to check themselves every now and again in those situations, because you're forever growing financially and whatever,
But I'm good like that. I think I'm reasonable like that too. Like, my character is quite strong. So it takes a lot for me to start veering off course. Like, I take quite a lot of pride in sticking to the things I believe in, behaving a certain way. So it does take quite a lot, but yeah, like you say, over that course of time where things just change so dramatically, everybody starts believing and reading their own press to some degree, and I'm no different, man.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I just want to highlight what you actually do for a living, because I'm not super clear everyone understands, but correct me if I am wrong. So you're involved in tech businesses, and I believe what you do is, you've built yourself up to enter into these companies on a CEO level currently. Am I doing all right?
Yeah, you're hitting it.
And pause. While you enter in these companies, in these positions, obviously you get attributed a certain number of shares or ownership in these companies. You build them up to a certain value. You sell these companies. Sometimes you keep the money, but most of the times you invest back into these companies if you're still going to be involved.
You got it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, this is something that you've built over a considerable amount of time and have a lot of precedent and a lot of examples in different companies where you've been able to achieve this. Now, how does an ex-footballer who didn't make it in time because he wasn't dedicated enough, as you said, in your words, not in mine, because I wasn't there, I wouldn't throw these big boy accusations, but how does somebody in that capacity, 89,000, is it 89,000 pounds? 88,000 pounds worth of debt, and obviously lacking some sort of drive, motivation, determination, how do you go from that mindset to where you went? Because I'm pretty sure you didn't go to tech school. I'm not sure if you did.
No.
Like, how do you go from that to this, where you are now?
Well, ego is a very helpful thing sometimes, right? So when you're in a group of friends and you're now the failure because everybody's career's kicking on, that either destroys you or that motivates you. And my determination was to come back into that friendship group as a success. Like, in some walk of life, I'm coming back as a success. I don't want to be the only person who, has failed out of this group of people. So that was like one motivator. The other was the debt. Because if I didn't get on top of that debt, then it starts to become a lifelong problem, not just a now problem. It's a, can you get a mortgage problem? Can you borrow money to finance your life later in life if you don't get on top of that? So that was another motivator. And then I found myself in in jobs. I was talking about this morning, where I was seeing salespeople in tech companies making 100 grand a year or 150 grand a year. And at the time, that was like a mind-blowing amount of what people went to 9-to-5 jobs and legitimately made 150, sometimes 200 grand. And I was looking at these people thinking, but like they're not elite. There's nothing spectacular about them. So that was motivational, that I could see in touching distance those quantums of money. And then one thing led to another. I ended up running like half of an American company that we ended up selling to Oracle for 550 million euros. And at that point, I had shares in the company. And it just made this whole thing real for me. It made this whole thing of, you can go to work, you can make a good salary, and in certain companies, in certain industries, if you had a degree of ownership, you could make like life-changing money. And once that happened, I couldn't get out of bed early enough. Like, I didn't need any encouragement, because now I could see a little, path where I could do that again and again.
You've seen the route from A to Z now. You've seen. Okay, this is what I'm going to do to make money now.
And it's real. It's real, because a lot of, especially in tech, like there'll be a lot of companies talking about accomplishing that. The first one I went into, that's what happened. So for me, this is now what happens. Do you know what I mean? It's not a philosophical thing. It's not a maybe thing. No, in 100% of cases, it has happened one in one. So then I just looked for the next one, and then the next one, and the next one after that.
All right, so I'm a CEO as well, right? And I'm a CEO in the music game, for example. I own a platform. I do other bits and bobs, but I've never, for example, filmed or edited a video. Mm-hmm. I've never... What else ain't I done? All like the actual real workings. I'm more of like an idea person or a creative person. Now, what I want to ask you is, like, for example, if we was in the car alone and one of these cameras went off, you'd probably turn one on quicker than I could. Do you know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
How well do you understand the tech business? Are you more of a creative person, a numbers person, or all that stuff, or do you actually understand every single aspect of the tech business that you're involved in?
No, I'm a business person, so I understand, and this is where I've been able to carve that niche for myself. I understand where a business is and what it's going to take to get it to the next level or the level beyond that, and I'm reasonably good at piloting that journey. Right? I'm a good quarterback or central midfielder for that journey. I can orchestrate that journey to happen. I don't write code, right? I don't do technical support. I'm not a finance guy. I'm probably more a commercial sales guy than anything, but I'm good at orchestrating that journey. But I think all leaders, all CEOs, the best ones in the world, they've got what I call their spike. They've got a place where they are excellent, right? So yours might be creativity and ideas. And then the success comes when you take your spike and surround yourself with people who can do all of the other bits that you're not good at. And CEOs fail when they try to be the person who has to be the genius at everything, because very few of us are. So when you have a spike, my spike is commercial, your spike might be creativity, then you get the team around you who bridge all of your gaps and your flaws, then that's a baseline or foundation for success, and has been for me.
Do you think you could do what you do in a space outside of a tech business? Could you...
I couldn't do what you do.
Could you be the CEO of a restaurant?
I've got a restaurant now, and it's only now going okay. So I don't know about that.
Okay.
I think I've got, which I've built up, like pattern recognition for tech businesses. So now I'm investing a lot in tech businesses, and that's because I know what good looks like, and I know when something looks bad, what it's going to take to make it better. Because I've got pattern recognition. I've been in it so long. I've seen it so many times. I know what good looks like. I don't have that same instinct outside of tech. So could I be an effective CEO outside of tech? Possibly, but I would never really try to be. Like, that don't really make sense to me.
The main massive accomplishment that you've done is obviously sell the company for €1 billion. How much, obviously, just tapping into some financials, because our viewers would love to know this kind of stuff. How much did you see out of that deal? Like, what's real in terms of what you can achieve in these things?
Don't
worry, we got older rappers here telling us how much their advances was. You're in good company.
Well, like you say, what's normal for a CEO in my line of work? You know, the CEO of Apple, it's the same for him. The CEO of Nike, it's the same for him, same for me. That when you go in, as you say, you get a certain amount of equity given to you, right? So in tech, that is normally somewhere between 4 and 15%. Right? That's the range. And then you might get an opportunity to buy some equity with your own money. So they come in, you're coming in, I say, Posty, you're a proven CEO, we'd love you to come and run this company, we're going to give you 10%. And we're also going to allow you to buy up to another 3 or 4%. So you're going in with 13%, which would be at the top end of the scale. So I've done, in combination now, 2 billion of exits. I've never had less than 5%. I've never had more than 12%.
Obviously, even when you sold that company for €1 billion, you reinvested the money that you made back into the company in aims of selling it for €4 million at some point,
billion,
right?
yeah.
€4 billion. Look at me. Stuck in the
dropping
millions.
O's. You're just dropping O's off of the numbers.
I'm stuck in the millions.
Hope you don't catch a ticket.
Second floor. Dino, sorry. Obviously, we want to say a massive congratulations winning the Power List this year. What is the Power List? You've come number 1. What does it mean to you? What does it mean to black people in the UK?
That's like a life and professional high for me being named number 1 on that list, because that's the list of, you know, according to JP Morgan and Powerful Media, the top 100, you know, powerful and influential black Britons, you know, a list that you featured on as well, rightly.
Yeah, I'm number 11. I'm number 11.
good man, as long as we're all in the conversation, it's all right.
You know, it's only the top 10 that get named, so it's like everyone else number 11, so I'm running with number 11 right now.
It's a beautiful and brilliant piece of recognition, because it was my daughter who really brought home to me the importance of that list. The first time I was named on that list, they sent you the magazine, which you would have seen, and she was going through that magazine, you know, recognizing people, you know, like Pat Brown in the, you know, in the makeup on cosmetics space. People like Emma Greed, who was on the list this year as well. So my kids look at that list and they take immediate inspiration, because they see career paths for themselves. They see people to aspire to. And the other brilliant thing it does is it showcases a lot of talent, not just in entertainment where we're used to seeing ourselves, or sports where we're used to seeing ourselves. There's a lot of credible business people, you know, on there as well. So when you see that inspiration live in front of you and your own kids, you understand the importance of those lists. And it's brilliant to be like recognized as number 1. I was number 2 for 2 years in a row, so I'm glad to be number 1.
Yeah, no, it's incredible, man. I feel like as a black man in England, I feel like that's definitely one of the highest heights you can have, being named on that list as such a significant figure, you know. So congratulations on that.
Thank you, man.
You know, sometimes when people do similar things, like let's just say there's a rapper from the East Coast or something, and then there's another big rapper from somewhere else, like they always find themselves in certain issues just because they're competing at a certain level, if that makes sense. And I see it being repeated in all forms of careers and in all forms of life and whatever. And I remember when when your gala came about, you know, a lot of people around me that care about me were like, oh, look, why is he doing a gala? Why is he doing a gala? Yeah, no, of course. But they don't mean it like in a negative way towards you. They're trying to mean it in a positive way towards me. And
right.
Yeah, like, I thought this was your lane. Yeah, kind of vibes, yeah. I just told them, listen, leave that black man alone, yeah? Because it's like, bro, like, there's bigger fish to fry around here. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, this guy has just done something that we haven't done. Like, he raised over £300,000 for charity. Because sometimes you do things backwards. Like some galas some of mine might cost like £400,000. Like, this year was a bit cheaper because the economy is so bad or whatever. And then I'll do like something charitable in the event. and I can't even raise £20,000 in the event. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And it's like, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, you probably raise more money than your gala cost.
Oh, yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Easy.
But then sometimes as well on my end, sometimes you have to kind of also do things to show people that we can actually make things happen. So it's just like, it's a double-edged sword. But anyway, I just wanted to big you up on your gala because it looked incredible.
Thank you. It was.
You raised a lot of money. You've done the right things. Is there anything you want to highlight about that specific event that you were involved in?
It's funny to hear you say that there was a little bit of that energy, which I understand is protective of you. The irony of that for me is I'm inspired by what you've created, right? So seeing, your gala over the years is a big source of inspiration. I've said it to you before, like just getting that industry together in such a celebratory, positive way is brilliant for the community, brilliant for the culture that you do it in such a spectacular way. And then this year, I got to be part of it because you invited me, and I was inspired. And there's things I saw and learned about at your gala that we did it as. Like we absolutely saw it in your gala, and we said that is dope. Like we have to do that. So we did that. But I love the fact, and to me, it's like a bigger man mentality that we got to have, and certain of us that are in positions and we're comfortable with ourselves, we can take those positions of, like we're here to advance everybody, so I don't need to feel threatened by this, I don't need to have any issue with this because I'm good, and because you're good, you don't have to have any issue or take any problem with mine. And I'm grateful for the inspiration of seeing what you've done, but very proud of that gala, because I've got this thing which is like, so many of us find ourselves in a good spot. So many of us have got a little platform. Some of us a bigger platform. We've got an amazing platform. Then my question is, well, how are we putting that to use for people beyond ourselves? Like, it's all good and well, creating those platforms, great. Creating a career, great. Making money for yourself to a point where you're good, great. But then now what? And I think the biggest flex, the biggest thing people like us in good positions can do is use those seats, use those positions to advance as many other people as possible, to improve the situation for as many other people as possible. So if you have a platform and you're not doing that, I don't really rate you. I don't rate it. Once you're beyond a certain point of economic security, because sure, self first, but once you're beyond that, I only can really rate you if I see you doing things that are helpful to other people.
You've obviously got your foot in the door in a lot of community work at the moment. Do you want to tell us some of the stuff that you're doing out there?
My thing with the community work is
which your wife runs, by the way, that side of things, right?
Daniel and my cousin run that. My thing with the community work, I call it my Robin Hood strategy, where I like going to big corporates and showcasing the work that we do and having them finance that work. So the participation of people in the work we do who benefit from it is free of charge. So we do a lot of mentoring where people don't have to pay. We do a lot of networking events for young professionals and entrepreneurs where the attendees don't have to pay. We do, we invest in businesses. We do a lot of investing in businesses, and all of that is funded by corporates because they want to be associated with me because we've done business together, we've cut deals together. So I'm always saying to them, if we're going to do this deal, you have to support this cause, or you have to support this charity with me, or you have to invest in this business with me. So that makes me feel good that you're going to people with deep pockets, using their money to subsidize, childcare in some cases, with the work we do, so that people like us benefit from that.
Killing two birds with one stone.
But not using our money to fund us. It's like a big.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, why, if Barclays will give me £250,000 to or the foundation £250,000 to run a program, great. That means 4,000 young entrepreneurs don't have to pay for participation in it. That feels better to me.
Yes. Obviously, you've generated a lot of money. You've been more successful than ever, but it feels like you're coming into the limelight even more so. Is there a particular reason why? Because a lot of us, well, I know what I'd be like if I'd made £100 million. Like, I doubt you'd be seeing me again. Me personally, do you get what I'm saying? You wouldn't see me again. I'm even doing this episode here because this is my, not this episode, this particular one, but like this series, or when you see my face in the public domain, yeah, it means I'm earning my money. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm outside, I'm back on the field. Yeah. Right. When things are sweet, what? You're not seeing me.
Got it.
No posts on Instagram, nothing. I don't give a shit. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't care. So is there a reason why the more money that you've made and the more success that you've been able to accomplish, why you're stepping out in the limelight more?
You know, it's Link Up on TV that like originally convinced me. I did a lot of work with them on another project, and through that work they were like, we don't see this. Like, we don't see black corporate men who are still relatable to the culture, who have succeeded. We don't see them. The people we see are entertainers, sports people, or if we see successful corporate black execs, they're not culturally relevant anymore. They've changed, they talk different, they behave different, they go to different places. You're one of a few people we've seen that hasn't done that, so we should showcase that. So it kind of started a little bit with Link Up. I was reluctant to do it. There's a reason nobody heard or saw me up until that point, which is probably like 2020, because it wasn't my thing. It's not something I, really particularly enjoy, and I don't benefit from it personally. That's something I don't think people understand. There's very little personal benefit. Actually, most of the personal impact is downside. Like, it comes more with downside than upside for me. But what it has done is it's showcased for a lot of people, a positive example that's an alternative to the traditional things that we've seen. It showcased my family's involvement in that. All of that is positive. And the branding definitely helps capture money from corporates, right? They see that we can have this conversation. They see me with certain other people from the culture, and then they see me doing transactions for hundreds of millions or billions. So it does help from a fundraising perspective, but there's no personal upside.
There is a little personal, little bit.
What's the personal upside?
Like there's no point being a legend, yeah, and then dying and the fans wasn't screaming your name. There is a little point. There is a little bit.
There's
like
more.
if I was in your position, yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to shout. I just started drinking coffee. Like it's a new thing.
A new thing for you.
Yeah.
It gets you hyped.
I'm just like mad energetic. Espresso, double, flipping out. But yeah, like if I was you and I was so like, obviously it's easy for me to say because my job or the stigma around my job and what I've been able to create sometimes could be louder than my pockets, if that makes any sense. It could be. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It could be.
You're good though, so let's just let's make sure that's understood.
No, but I could
do the downplay thing. Like
no. But it could be. It could be.
It could be.
I don't care either way. Like I'll sleep on a mattress. I'll sleep on. I don't give a shit. Like whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I'd rather sleep somewhere else, obviously. But yeah. What I was saying is sometimes you can walk in a room. Like I could walk in a room with you right now. Yeah. The wrong room. The wrong room. And people would know me more than they know you. And we're talking about, but I'm just talking about in what money's in the bank, yeah? So I could walk in a room, there's bare like, man them, bare this, bare that, bare this. They're going to say, oh, Posty's here. Maybe not so much now, they might recognize you more because you've been in the field, you know what I'm saying, you're outside. But what I'm saying is they might boom, whatever. But if I had accomplished some of the things that you've accomplished too, as a black man in these sort of rooms, they gotta scream my name as well. They gotta say They gotta say Forbes is in the house. They have to. That's nice. It's nice, but it's nice.
There's much more power in privacy and confidentiality than there is in fame. I say this to Rio, I say this to Idris all the time, that some degree of their success depends on their popularity. Like their ability to earn, thrive, achieve more things in the future depends on their popularity. None of my ability to earn or thrive depends on popularity. Zero. And I can make pretty much every call, go every place, be in any room, and I don't have to deal with watching my words, watching what I say, watching what I post too much, because I don't need to be popular to make money. That's a superpower. So dying anonymous is very attractive. I mean, the ship sailed now.
It's too late. As soon as he stepped in his car, it was over, Dean.
I got no problem with that. You got this pure. The downside is now I have to watch. You know, I understand how the roads work, but now I have to watch that even more. Like I didn't have to watch that anymore. Now, almost always, I'm with someone or with people because it's not sensible to always be on my own. My house is under 24-hour surveillance now, because unlike say Rio or Idris or Kano, nobody loves me for art. Like nobody's. No, I mean people like those guys because they've been entertained by them. They appreciate their artistry. They appreciate what they've put into the world. People don't feel that way towards me. They just hear numbers and money, and that brings with it risk. So that's downside. I've got a family. I've got children. That's pure downside.
Yeah, no.
And you don't trade that just to have your name screened and be seen as a legend. Plus, as well, I'm not a person who really needs that.
I definitely agree with 98% of what you said. I do think that 2% of you does enjoy it as well, because you're only human. You are only human.
Like I don't.
Just 2%.
Yeah,
Dean.
no.
I'm not being dramatic here. Just 2%.
No.
2%.
There's the 2% that's nice is when someone does say to you, "Listen, I'm in this space. I saw what you did, and it made me believe it's possible. I'm in this space. You helped me. That thing you said was helpful to me." That's an amazing feeling, because then I'm putting what I went through to good use. That's why it's a good feeling.
Alright,
and my mum raves about me. That's the other good feeling. Like when she calls her friends back home, you would think I was the Prime Minister of Europe, the way she talks about me. That's a nice feeling too.
Yeah, no, that's dope. I'm gonna up it to 4% now, because you just took up the 2%. Who's your favourite British artist of all time?
There can't be one.
Oh, come on, Dean.
Music.
No one's
music
watching.
art, music artist.
Yeah,
Just me and you.
Yeah, smart guy.
My favourite British artist.
If you had to listen to one British artist for the rest of your life, if that's all you had,
You gotta go around.
just that in the millions. Or was it billions? I'm dropping those. Who would it be?
If I had to listen to one, it's between Gets, Bashi and Kano.
Jesus.
It's between those three. Plus, I'm alright with all three of them. I'm not trying to make any.
That covers all angles.
I mean, there's other obviously nice artists too. I love Merkson. Like I can't.
Is it?
I love yeah. Merkson's like hard for me. Young Steph as well. Like him, Rimsey. But them three for me. If I only had to listen to, if I could pick three, it would be those three easily.
No, that's dope. Merkson's a close friend of mine still. Have you told him that?
Yeah.
Send the check, the check, Dean. Yeah?
When you see him, let him play. Tell him to play you the voice notes he gets from me. Like when I'm in the car listening to him, I just start screaming down the phone at him. I think
is it?
Yeah, he's proper. But Bashi, like, when I see Bashi the other day, I was saying to him, this isn't just like being poor is expensive. We're talking Chopper Chops, mixtape back in the day, Black Boys, like one of the most iconic singles to come out of the country. Then you got Kano, Jack Bauer mixtapes. So yeah, when you hear me say I like these people, I didn't just discover these people because we were doing this interview. Like I've been listening to.
Is that your favourite Kano project?
Yeah, probably.
Is it? I'll never know anyone to say that.
No?
He's got some heavy hitters, you know. My favourite Kano's
project.
Yeah, my favourite Kano project's probably Beats and Bars. No, my favourite version of Kano is that when he's ignorant and he's just being bare negative, talking like gangster shit.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
My favourite genre of Kano is when he's like just dropping in the flexes a little bit. Just peppering them.
Nasty behaviour.
Yeah.
He gets up to some bad things, you know.
Just letting you know a little bit that there's a bit of a difference between him and everyone else.
You know that Scraps verse, the Marathon remix?
Ah, right. When he dropped the FP Jean bit, I said to him, Google must have went crazy when you dropped that. When you dropped that bar, everyone's like, "What's this FP Jean thing?"
Yeah, no, he was doing some stuff on there.
But
man.
Scraps is another one.
Yeah, Scraps is cold.
Is another one. So it's hard, but yeah, them would have to be those three.
I was gonna bring out a big boy, but I felt like that's what an insecure man would do. So I just put the do-rag, man. You know what I'm saying? You got your own sparkling wine as well, with a respectable member. One of the most respected members, actually. Let me put some respect on Dummy's name.
Have to.
Like he wasn't getting money when I was shopping in Aldi. That's crazy. Put some respect on his name. And you know what, I'll tell you a funny story about... Well, go on, you're right, yeah? You know, like, sometimes we say, like, big. When you're showing respect to someone, you're like, big. Someone might see me say big post or whatever, you know, just a term of endearment kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? And one time he's rang me, I've answered the phone, I'm like, yo, Big D! I'm like...
Whoa.
I'm like,
whoa.
whoa. Whoa.
You know him like that? That's how you know him?
Nah, but it was a crazy funny moment still. Obviously you started up Severin with him. He started up Severin along with some people. You got involved. What was the motivation behind getting behind something like that? Because it was quite monumental, especially knowing that two black men of massive significance are behind a brand like this.
That's another example of, you know, where I think us as men, especially black men, we got to be kind of secure in our own situation, because Dummy had Severin, it was launched, he had it in production, he had investment, he didn't need me. But when he talked to me about it, you know, I thought it was something I always wanted to be involved in a drinks brand. So when he explained it to me, I said, look, I'd love to be part of this, can you make room? And he went away, you know, made a bit of room for me to come in as quite a meaningful investor. I think the third biggest investor in that brand, which he didn't have to do. Like, he didn't need the money. Dummy's got a great, you know, personality, great profile himself. I'm not really bringing a lot in that sense to it, but he did make the room because I asked to be involved in it. And I think that's a like power move in itself. And we've just been able to show people, like, two black guys who have done okay for themselves coming together to do something else, you know.
Coming together to do something else.
your mind's in the funny place. But you know when we have that conversation, you know who for me is the most important person in the culture. Somebody we were celebrating together the other day, Crept. I think he, for me, is one of the most important people, if not the most important person right now in the culture. And we have to appreciate, like, what he's showcasing, right? We're seeing, you know, that stigma of us as fathers sometimes. We're seeing him be a very present father for his child. And I speak to him from time to time and invite him to something. He says, I can't, I've got my kid. Or you call him and he's with his kid. So we know this isn't just for Instagram. Like, he's a present, very present father. We see him, all the successes he's had in his known industry as an artist, right? So he's a very, you know, accomplished artist. Then we see him building this business, like in the skincare sector, where he's not relying on, you know, his profile as an artist to build that business. He's building that business legitimately from the ground up. And I've spoken to him a few times, like, about business, about what he wants to do, about how he's going about doing it. And I just find him like an exceptional businessman. And a lot of artists who have aspirations of being business people can't get close to him. Like, he's in a different conversation. That's why I appreciate him a lot, man. I think the culture has to realise what he's demonstrating before our very eyes, because it's super impressive, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. You got some money in there?
Nah, but that would go without saying. I think a lot of other people got there before me.
I'm in there, you know.
Are you? Good.
I'm in there still, but I need you in there, man. We need that support, man.
If the opportunity came up, man, I would jump at it. Just from listening to him talk about it, you know, talk about feedback he got that he had to take on when it was going wrong. He's got such low ego as well. It just calls with questions or because he's curious. I don't know. I got so much time for creps. I saw the Twitter founder, Jack Dorsey.
Yeah.
I met him in New York. We had dinner and he had this on. You know those situations where you just can't just look at like you're really watching the watch.
Yeah.
And afterwards, when he told me that, one day, when something big enough happens.
So right now we're heading to your office. Gonna see where all the money's made. How long you been here?
Not long in this office. We moved there because the company's doubled in 2 years. So it's gone from €1 billion in value to 2 billion.
Oh, you finally hit that mark, yeah?
So we're at 2 now. So we double in 2 years. We can double again in 2 years. We'll be at the 4 billion by 2026, hopefully.
What's the most expensive thing you've bought then, as a person that loves money, and not in a negative way? You need to make money, innit?
So first of all, money's just a trophy now. At this point, it's not really.
You're gonna say, I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say time and.
No.
You're gonna say.
No.
You're gonna say time and what is that thing you said?
Freedom.
Time and freedom is real wealth, which it is.
Of course,
I believe you.
Of
Time and
course
freedom
it is.
is wealth.
Of course
But
it
I
is.
just want to know the most.
What apart from
the most
like
material?
house and car?
Yeah, this is Fortune and Culli. We're trying to get. We're trying to see
The
what
most-
we can touch. You know.
The most expensive thing. Probably some of my watches.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, probably got watch. Yeah, got some decent.
So you got a whole selection of a whole selection.
I've been collecting watches for a long time, and they got better with time. The ones I'm able to collect got better with time.
Yeah, no, for sure.
The thing I've paid money for that I'm proudest of is my home, because that's a place we never dreamed we would ever live in. So between the house and watches.
Yeah, no, that's dope.
Someone did those. Well, you do them for me. But they're part of his, school.
Yeah, cool.
First collection with his kid. The footprints in.
In terms of accomplishments, do you feel like you're gonna stay in the tech game or in the tech business or in business in general just to continue to keep achieving because that's just what makes you happy as well, or is there like an end goal?
The 4 billion for me is super important because we never dreamed of 100 million, then we did that. We never dreamed of 250, and when we did that. We never dreamed of 1 billion, then we did that. So touching 4 billion and being involved in that conversation is an important, that's an important milestone. When we get to that point, then we have to evaluate what happens next. The thing I care most about is, what do we move the needle on? Like, after all is said and done, after all of the deals, the money, the Instagram likes, the watches, what are we moving the needle on? We do 430 grand for ACLT. All right, what can we do? Can we do something for $1 million for a charity? Can we do that? We do 4 billion with one company. Can we do that with 3 or 4? How are we going to move the needle? Because that's what motivates me. What can we do? Do you know what I mean? What's next? What barrier or milestone can we break next? And I'll figure it out when we get to 4 billion.
And that's something I like about Stormzy as well, to be honest. I feel like with all the money he's made, I feel like whenever there's a cause, especially relating to our people, he always continuously tries to move the needle on these things,
right.
Especially with the Black Lives Matter, when he dedicated 10 million across 10 years, I believe. Recently, he just was involved in building his own youth centre.
Right.
I think
sent a lot of kids to Oxford University as well. Oxford or Cambridge, I can't quite remember.
Yeah.
So
It's very continuous.
I respect that. Consistent, present, and using the platform to serve beyond himself, man. I think you have to admire and respect that.
Oh, sick. Good up.
You get Culli's tombstone. So for every deal, you get a tombstone. In my house, I've got 2 of these. I've got one at home, one here. But in my house, I've got a tombstone for every
Company sold.
deal.
Sick. I want to talk about capital gains tax. What do you think? What do you think that's going to do to you when that goes up in September?
Do you know You know, it's funny. Like, I've got a friend. It's a guy who's ahead of me on all terms, like money. He's in tech as well. He's got a flat just down there. And what I love is sometimes when I go to his house, like he'll invite you over for dinner, and then you get to his house, and there's like Rishi Sunak there, and Sundar from CEO of Google, and CEO of Shell's there, and you talk over dinner about policy that defines the country. And that's like a very powerful conversation to be in. So it's funny hearing those guys who are real, like touching billionaire status. Some of them are talking about things like this. Rachel Reeves, who's who's going to announce the budget next week, Thursday, was in my class at primary school.
Oh wow!
So yeah, but
so you know what's up already. You just called Rachel.
We're going to get done. We're going to get done on capital gains tax, man.
We're getting done. No, we're fully getting done.
33%. That's my prediction.
Jesus.
What's next for you? Like, we've seen you build this unbelievable platform, #1 platform in the country. So you make a lot of money for yourself.
Yeah, no, I literally started this platform really just to try and give people a voice and give people an avenue to make money in a different way and build a scene that was, growing. I wanted to help it grow more, and that's what I'll continue to do, public facing, till somebody does a better job. But in the meantime, I have my own interests and other things I'm doing. So yeah, man, as long as the people want it, I'm here to give it to them. So
it's a political answer, man. I like to know.
Yeah, but I can't tell everyone my plans. Do you know what I mean? Because someone might do it before me. No. I like it when people do it after me, like the gala. But
It's 100%. That's 100% what happened.
Who did it?
We did it behind you. We were inspired by you, man. You led us. You led us.
I'm playing. Want to see this? Sorry to infringe on your personal space. I saw an interesting clip of you recently discussing how the flex is different, and I really liked that video when you kind of spoke about how your friends or you guys might go to dinner and spend £15,000 on wine, but and it comes with no noise or no public gratification, whereas someone might have £4,000 in their account and spend £2,000 on a bottle in a club, and there's like bare noise and all of that kind of stuff. That was interesting to hear.
I think I got to acknowledge that I'm from a different age bracket, like to a lot of people, and I had my period of, being on the tables and doing all of that stuff. But I was at an event recently, and I saw a group of people sat down, just doing nothing, and then someone took their phone out, and everybody in the group started dancing into the phone. And then the person stopped recording and everybody sat down again. So people are having fun to show to the world that they're having fun when they're not really having fun.
Yeah.
And from my generation, it doesn't make a lot of sense because we didn't really grow up like that. And then now when I'm around people who are successful and accomplished, they've taught me that the real flex is you actually just do it, and you just do it for yourself or for the people you're with.
Sometimes people only think that you've got what you got going on is all they can see kind of thing. Right. I feel that's very I love black culture, but I also feel like there's some aspects of it I don't love, and that's one of them, to be honest.
It's a bit dangerous too, because like you say, you have people who, and I was one of them when my football career ended, who cannot afford to sustain that lifestyle, but they feel under pressure to exhibit that lifestyle. Like we've got enough struggles. We've got enough struggles as it is.
Let's talk about that. I even want to talk about even the fact that our culture, for example, is based on going to buy a £2,000 jacket, £3,000 jacket, £4,000, in some cases £6,000 jacket, yeah? Wearing it once on Instagram and not being able to wear it again. That's like a cultural rule. Yeah, it was a cultural rule. And you know what's so mad? Yeah, I got this scarf. I was wearing it the other day. Some Mink Louis scarf when we went to the Crepton Conan thing. And I'd worn it once before, yeah? And I wore it again. I'm saying, why can't I wear this again? It's not like I'm posting it on my grid. Why can't I wear this again? Like, how are you meant to sustain... How are people supposed to sustain any sort of wealth or... Not even wealth, actually, because you've got to get to a position to maintain wealth. Like, how are you supposed to maintain money when we do have, like, rules like this?
Here's my question. Why does that matter? Like, if I see you in your Louis scarf, 3 or 4, it might be your favourite scarf. So now, because it's your favourite scarf, but because I've seen you in it once before, you now have to be careful of wearing it around me. Who does that make sense to? Like, bring me the person that makes sense to. You have spent £2,000 on an item of clothing that becomes your favourite item, but you have to selectively wear it because of the opinions of other people. That doesn't make any sense to me. I wear things twice, 3, 4, 5 times. I couldn't care less who sees it. Doesn't feature in my mind at all. And ironically, as you know, a lot of people who are wearing that stuff are being given it and loaned it, so they're not even doing the 3K or 5K on it in the first place. But now we're all behaving like they are, despite the fact we don't have that. You know, we haven't got that link or that ability to borrow something and send it back.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Who does it make sense to?
Yeah, no, man. So anyone with less money out there, Dean said you can wear your shit twice.